This video is just gonna be quick, short, and sweet. I'm gonna be answering one of my subscribers' questions. So someone DM me on Instagram and they asked, which country do I feel is more dangerous, Dominican Republic or Colombia? But before I answer this question, I am gonna be doing this new advice segment on my channel. So if y'all have like any questions that y'all want to ask in regards to travel or dating abroad or just anything, like I want to start making videos where I answer some of you guys' questions. So you can DM me on Instagram or you can email me. And if you want to keep your name anonymous, just let me know. But I am going to start doing advice segments on this channel. So go ahead and send me your DMs and your questions. And one of your questions might end up as a video. All right, but to go back to the subscriber's original question, which country is more dangerous? That's the easy one. Obviously, it's Colombia. And no, I'm not being biased. I know some people might assume like, oh, he might just be saying this because, you know, he reps Dominican Republic heavy. So yes, in short, Dominican Republic is the safer country. But that does not mean you should not travel to Colombia or you shouldn't take a vacation out there. Because y'all, Colombia is fun. Like, if you've never gone to Colombia, it is a completely different experience from Dominican Republic. So that is why I would never tell somebody not to travel to a certain location. Unless it's just like you walk into like a war zone or something, you know. But, you know, the last time I was in Colombia, I had a really good time. And I did get a couple of DMs after the last video where I was talking about Colombia being dangerous, where people were saying like, oh, you know, I might skip out on Colombia, or, you know, I was planning on a vacation going out there and, you know, I don't know if I want to go anymore. No, I definitely do think you still should go to Colombia. It's just that Colombia, there are a couple of more things that you got to take into consideration when you're going out there versus Dominican Republic. One of the things I'll just tell you right off the rip is Colombia is way bigger than Dominican Republic, okay? You got to think Dominican Republic is like this tiny little island in the Caribbean compared to Colombia, this huge country with a way bigger population. So already the more people you have in the location, the more crime you're going to face, okay? Especially Colombia got all these huge metropolitan cities like Bogota, Medellin. Cartagena is not like super huge, but it's still a pretty big city. You got Cali. Okay, so you got these huge cities with all these people compared to Dominican Republic. The biggest cities in Dominican Republic are Santo Domingo and Santiago. So just comparing the two countries, you can already kind of see the difference in terms of population size. Like the more people you have in a place, the more crime you're going to have. Now, in terms of like the whole people getting drugged and all these tourists dying in Colombia from like scopolamine and poison, and, you know, they're putting stuff in the drinks. Yes, guys, that stuff does happen. So that's one of the reasons why I said, like, I personally do not like drinking in the club unless it's from a can or a bottle, just because like it's too many instances of people like having that issue when they go out to the club in Colombia versus Dominican Republic. You don't really hear too many cases of people getting drugged in the DR. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but what we're looking at is the commonality or the likelihood of these things happening. In Dominican Republic, you don't really hear stories of people getting drugged like that. Like the last time we was really hearing bad stuff about DR, that was like back in 2019 with all the alcohol and, you know, the tourists were dying and people was like, oh my goodness, don't travel to the Dominican Republic. And to be honest, it really wasn't even Dominican Republic's fault. It was actually the distributors, the companies that distributed the alcohol. They were making this fake cheap alcohol. So, you know, the resorts were getting hit and people were ending up dying. And they were like, oh, let's stop traveling to the Dominican Republic. So that's really like the only time or the last time I can really think of when it was just a crazy situation like that, where it was just like back to back to back. But y'all, in Colombia, that stuff is like the norm if you were like within the travel groups or if you're in the travel community. So yes, in Colombia, you do need to be a little bit extra careful when you're consuming alcohol. That's why for me, like I'll pregame before I go to the club. So I'll buy my own liquor and, you know, I'll make my own drinks before I go to the club. And then once I get to the club or go out, you know, I'll order like a beer or something that they're not like mixing drinks, because like, bruh, it's so many videos. Like, you go on TikTok, even on YouTube, there's so many videos of like that stuff happening. So it's just like, I ain't taking no risk. But, you know, everybody is different. You do what you want to do. That's in Colombia. Now, in Dominican Republic, I don't ever have to worry about that. Like, Dominican Republic, I will go to a bar and I'll have a bartender mix me stuff because, you know, like, it's cool. Like, you don't really see these things happening like that. So another difference I noticed between the two countries is, in Dominican Republic, like, you will have people that they'll rob you or mug you, especially if you like in a bigger city. If you got like your money out or, you know, like a cell phone or something, you know, like people, they will like snatch your stuff. That's why I tell y'all in my videos, like, make sure when you out in the streets, like, you put your phone away, all your valuable stuff. But they're not like killing you. In Colombia, not only will they rob you, but they also have an issue of like killing people. Like I just saw something on WhatsApp the other day, like, shout out to my boy Shay, because he had posted like a little video in Colombia, and they just went up into like a restaurant and just shot up the restaurant. I'm just like, bro, like Dominican Republic, you don't really see stuff like that. The most you'll see in Dominican Republic is like isolated cases. So let's say two people know each other, okay, and they duke it out. And that's really the only time you see stuff like that in Dominican Republic. Like I said, the most that they'll do is like rob you or mug you. You're going to get that in both countries. But the frequency and the likelihood of it happening is probably going to be a lot more in Colombia. And in Dominican Republic, they're not coming into restaurants, raiding restaurants, and just doing crazy stuff, like harming people. Like they're not doing that. Dominican Republic is just a lot more chill vibe. I know some people, they still might feel at unease about some of the things I just said about Colombia, but it's just all about how you move there. Like, for example, if you was taking like a foreigner coming to the United States for the first time, and let's say they were going to visit New York and Orlando, Florida, okay, obviously when they're visiting New York, I'm going to have to prep them a little bit more because it is a bigger city. Like, you're going to move way differently in New York City compared to how you would in Orlando, Florida. Now, one thing I will say about Colombia is it is an extremely beautiful country. There is stuff to see there, and it's not just 100% crime. Okay, so you can like go see nature, and they do got beaches and other things that might spark your interest besides like being like in the city. But if you're in the city, you definitely do need to like kind of be on your P's and Q's. One thing that I will say that I do like about Colombia over Dominican Republic is the way I get treated as a foreigner is a lot better. And what I mean by this is Dominican Republic, it just seems like they will hustle you for every nickel, penny, and dime that you have. And it seems like the relationships I have with people in Dominican Republic are a little bit more fabricated, or it's just kind of like based off of like your status. So if you're American or you got money, so you will run into a lot of more superficial fake conversations versus Colombia. You do kind of run into more genuine people. So that's why I say like the experience is a lot different compared to Dominican Republic, even dating wise. Like even like when you're in the dating scene, I feel like, how can I say this without getting in trouble? Okay, I just feel like people's intentions are a little bit more transparent in Colombia compared to Dominican Republic. And that's what I'm just going to say with that. I'm not trying to get cussed out. I do feel like the people, they really do have good hearts in Colombia, aside from the crime and the things that you be seeing, but you just got to kind of be a little bit extra careful. Now, if you're in Cartagena, I know, for example, like if you're on Boca Grande Beach, you will deal with like a lot of vendors and people trying to sell you things. So yes, that is common. You are going to deal with a bunch of vendors, but like they actually do be trying to get to know you and talk to you. So it's not on no like, oh, it's business, this is an American and we're just going to take advantage of them. Like, no, they actually will try to like, get to know you. So I will say that about Colombia. Like they do actually try to get to know the tourists versus in Dominican Republic, those people stand on business. Like it is straight business over there. So if you're a foreigner, you're definitely going to feel like, damn, like these people, they're some hustlers. Like they need the checks up front. That is something that I do like about Dominicans is they will do whatever it takes to like get a dollar. Like I've never seen people so dedicated. Y'all, I got so many stories I could be telling y'all, but some of the stuff I done seen in DR, bro, like when I tell you these people, they will get to a dollar by any means necessary. And I actually already made a video about Dominican Republic versus Colombia. So if you want to go like more into detail about just the experience in both countries, I'll link that video right here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You still deal with scams. You still deal with crime and stuff. I mean, that's going to happen in both countries. But as a new traveler, I would say go with Dominican Republic first and then go to Colombia. Colombia might be a little bit much to take in if you're not used to traveling or being over in Latin America. So it's a lot faster paced and there's more things that you got to pay attention to. But it is a good time. Like I told you, the last time I went to Colombia, had a really, really good time. So it is really fun, but you do need to move a little bit differently when you're out there compared to Dominican Republic. So I hope that this answers your question. But yeah, guys, remember, send me like your questions for the advice segment. And it can cover anything travel related, dating related. Like I want to like answer you guys' questions. So you can DM me on Instagram or you can email me. But I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.